Obviously, it's a very exciting time of year for us. My guests today are I'm flanked by a lot of youth, and I guess maybe that's the theme of this press conference is youth. And obviously, we're going to talk about all 8 guys going, but it's exciting to have these guys here today. You know, we've got a sophomore over to my right, my far right, but everybody else is freshmen here. So we got freshmen and sophomores sitting here, getting ready to go to New York City. We've had a great training period since we left the ACC championships. So we're real excited about the opportunity that we've got in New York City. I'm super excited about these guys. You throw in another sophomore with Zach Epperle, and then of course you've got Nick Bruschetta that's a senior, and Ty Walls and Joey Dance that are juniors. We've got a great mix of guys that hopefully can go make a little history this weekend in New York City. So with that said, I'll open it up for questions, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to get out of these guys. I know the guy to my immediate right likes to talk a lot. The rest of them, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen, but they might surprise you, so we'll have a little fun today.
Kevin, in order to go from what you've been the last 3 years, a top 10 finish, in order to be like a top 4 finish, what has to happen, I guess, how do you kind of pull that off?
Well, you know, if you look at the seeds, we got 8 guys going to the NCAA tournament. We've had 8 guys going before. We've never had 8 guys seeded, and we got 7 of those 8 guys seeded in the top 8. So obviously, there's a lot of respect with these 8 guys across the board in the nation. But you know, we've got to be tough all 3 days, and these guys know it. Even though they're young, we preach it to them that things get a lot more difficult as you get to Friday, and then things get real difficult. And we've got to be resilient. We've got to be able to bounce back when bad things happen and there's adversities. There's going to be adversities. All 8 guys are going to run into something tough this weekend. And so far, these guys, especially even these young guys, have proved when things get tough, they're pretty dang tough themselves and pretty dependable. So that's what we've got to do. We've got to, you know, if things go wrong and we end up in a consolation in a couple places, we got to come back and get 3rd place. It's a first, second, or 3rd place mentality all weekend.
Is it day 2 is the Friday day? That's that what you want to see improvement from last year to this year, I guess?
Well, Friday's a tough day, you know. And last year, Friday, we had a lot of matches in the quarterfinals on Friday morning where we were underdogs, and you know, we got beat and we got upset in a few places. We need to change that around. It's not going to change Friday morning if you look at it on paper. We're going to be underdogs in a lot of weight classes, but I think these guys are capable of pulling some upsets or maybe mild upsets, and then the weights that we're favored, we need to roll.
Is top 4 still a realistic goal for you guys this week?
Absolutely. You know, we're going there to get a trophy, and nothing's changed.
Most of y'all are making your first appearance at the national championship. What do you have, I guess, expectations-wise for yourself and for your teammates heading into the Madison Square Garden this weekend?
We'll go left to right, okay? How's that? Got to coach them up.
This is me and Solly's first trip to the NCAA tournament. Last year was kind of different for us. We were spectators, so we saw the atmosphere and everything going on there. And this year it's going to be a lot of fun. I feel like we're just going to go out there, let it fly, and just have fun with it. And the whole year was pretty much just training for this tournament. So it's just going to be fun to go out there and have a lot of exciting matches.
Yeah, like Zach said, we last year we were spectators, so we kind of got a little bit of a taste of what that's going to be like. But you know, now we're competing in it. But this whole year we've made, you know, myself, everyone on the team's made so many improvements, and we worked so hard. So I mean, I'm excited. I got, you know, a lot of faith in myself and my team that we're going to do some big things because we've been working so hard all year, and we're going to let it fly, perform.
Yeah, it's my first trip to the NCAA tournament too. I'm just really excited. We've all trained the whole year just for this one tournament. Basically, Coach said like right before ACCs, it's a new season already. The postseason and everything's out the window, and you just focus on one match at a time because a lot of crazy things can happen, as we saw from last year at the tournament. So I'm just going to go out there and just have some fun and just wrestle.
That's a little different for you, Jared.
Yeah, I went last year, so I kind of have a feel for it. I know a little bit more to expect now. So this year, I'm ready to get the All-American and step up high on the podium. But definitely, like McFadden said, don't look too much into your bracket and just look at the person you have in front of you and prepare for that.
Kevin, how healthy are you guys going into this thing, especially with Nick?
Super healthy, Nick. I'd put Nick Bruschetta. Each week he's progressed and he's had great practices. We took the knee brace off, which we haven't been able to do for over a month, and he's competed really well with it. So he feels great. I'm just excited about how healthy we are, because it's really hard to say that normally when you get to mid-March, going through the grind that we go through to be this healthy. So that's a really good thing.
Any seedings you were disappointed in, I guess? Was there anything that you kind of thought you were hoping for?
Not really. The minute I think you start going down the road and maybe complaining or not liking a seed, there's an upset, and you just got to make sure it's not you and it's somebody else. So we get a lot of opportunities here. This isn't if you go to the Olympics and you have one bad match, or a lot of international tournaments, you're done if the guy doesn't pull you through. This is a true opportunity for guys to get more than one strike. So I've got a lot of faith in these guys in wherever they end up.
How have you adjusted your training? Obviously you got to make weight 3 days in a row. How have you adjusted your training for the guys? Kind of like McFadden alluded to, it's a new season. How have you gone from regular season to postseason?
Really we haven't changed that much. Obviously, as we from the ACCs to the NCAA championships, you shorten things up a little bit. The workouts are a little bit shorter. They're a little bit more intense. We're in and we're out. It's really nice. We just got off of spring break, so all last week we were in spring break, so these guys got the opportunity to rest a little bit more than the average college kid that's going to class every day. So that was a benefit for us. So I feel like we're real fresh. So we kind of do the same thing every day, routine, and we preach to them all year long. The biggest match of the year is the next match, and it just happens to be that the biggest match of the year happens to be in New York City at noon on Thursday. That's the biggest match of the year. So that's what we're going to focus on.
Where does the improvement have to come from ACCs? Is it an aggression standpoint, a mentality standpoint, or if anything?
We really didn't wrestle bad in the ACCs. We had 7 guys in the finals. This guy came back in the toughest weight in the tournament and got third. We didn't have a bad ACCs. We could have used some help from some other teams, the way the format's set up. NC State was really hot. I don't put too much into that except for we don't like getting second place, but we didn't wrestle that bad. I think Bruschetta and Epperle maybe needed to go for it a little bit more because they hadn't been in as many big matches as these guys had. Though these guys are young, they were in there all year long. So Bruschetta and Epperle needed a test, and so I really feel that was good for those guys, and I think we're going to see the benefits of that with those 2 guys especially.
How so?
Oh, just from getting out there. Epperle, he really hadn't been tested all year long, and so he got out there against a good guy, and even though he lost, I saw progress there. So these guys have battled all year long and had a lot of good opponents. Nick and Zach, because of the injuries they had, they just didn't get as many good opponents, and good opponents make you ready for this tournament. So I think the timing for those guys, even though they lost those matches in the finals, are going to benefit them.
Zach, coming off AC championship, does that give you a lot of confidence? You got a nice springboard going into this week?
It's just I've just been focusing on improving every time I go out there in a match, and not really worried about the other guy. So if I just keep focusing on me and not worried about the guy across from me, then good things are going to happen. So it definitely kept things going for me, not falling in the finals or whatever, just keeping my momentum going and hopefully have a great NCAA tournament.
Dave, how are you preparing? Your first match is most likely going to be against NCAA runner-up, or third place from last year, Jordan from Ohio State. Being in high school last year and a highly touted opponent, your first match at NCAA's, what are you doing to prepare for that match specifically?
I'm not doing anything differently to prepare. I think I got to get past one match first, and then I'll worry about my next opponent. But I know he's really talented, and he took third last year. I haven't really watched any video on him because I just got to take one match. But I'm definitely aware that I have him on my side. If I win, I get him right after, and I can't really look bad in the match. I'm just gonna go out and just wrestle, kind of like my first match here at Virginia Tech when I had a top-ranked guy, and my dad just told me before the match I couldn't look bad. Just go out and just leave it all on the mat and have fun, and I did. And crazy things can happen at NCAAs. who knows? I just got to get one match at a time, and I'll just play it by ear. But I think anything's possible with the environment I'm in and the way I've been training. I haven't changed my training for anyone. I just have to worry about myself, even though I'm young. I just trust in my training and my coaches, and pretty much, yeah.
Kevin, considering Joey's seeding, what's kind of realistic goal for him this week?
Joe, pick up the paper Sunday morning. Joey could be the champ, but he's going to have to go out and get after guys right away. Sometimes he has a tendency to keep matches close, and he's got to go out and get it going right away. He's got to go out and have an emphasis to get the takedown the first period right away, and Joey gets really excited this time of year, and then he's got to finish it. Last year he had a great match in the semifinals for about 6 minutes, and he didn't finish it, or the quarterfinals, excuse me, and he didn't finish it, and the guy snuck up on him and took him into overtime, and he lost, and he wasn't mentally ready to wrestle back. So those are all lessons learned, and I know he's excited to try to right that wrong. But
how do you size up his weight class?
Oh, it's I think there's according to seeds there's 4 guys there. The first top 4 seeds are all really, really close. Penn State, Ohio State, Iowa, and Joey. But at the same time, there's a lot of dangerous guys in there. So I think if we make the mistake of looking at just to the semifinals, we're going to be in trouble. We won't be there. But yeah, Joey's capable of winning it. I mean, there's nobody in the nation that would disagree with that. That if they picked up the paper Sunday morning and saw Joey Dance won it, but people close to this sport understand that it's just razor thin. So. Just as he could win it, he could not win it too. So he's got to be on his game, and he's got to be ready to roll.